Let's welcome him in. He's been covering the NBA for over 20 years. You see him on Fox Sports 1. You read his work at foxsports.com. He's the incomparable Ric Bucher. He joins us on the Doug Gottlieb Show on Fox Sports Radio. Let's not bury the lead. Ishbia comes out on Twitter and is like, nothing should happen to Joker. Joker, you know, it was weird. What do you think comes of this incident?
I hope Ishbia is right, and but trying to anticipate how the league is going to adjudicate things, I don't know how they adjudicate things in games these days when they go to review. So it's hard for me to anticipate whether they're going to suspend, and that would be the expectation that they would suspend Jokic for Game 5. In Denver. I hope not. And I guess because Ishbia has put it out there, and because this is not a circumstance where, if you read the letter of the law going into the stands, I don't know that he was in the stands. Jokic technically was still standing on the court. He was going to get the ball. Ishbia wasn't giving up the ball. Play was live. It wasn't like there was a foul or there was a timeout or any of that. Play was live. So he was trying to get the ball, and Ishbia resisted. And so I just don't see a fault in what Jokic did, or that if I'm reading the rules that I could interpret it that he has to be suspended.
I would agree with you. And I mean, I think Ishbia was being, a little bit of a jackass in the thing, and right, and a little bit of having fun or whatever. It was weird. Did you see Isaiah Thomas sitting next to him?
Well, that's not weird. I mean, Isaiah Thomas is the shadow government in the Phoenix Suns right now.
I know it is. I know it is. One, Isaiah didn't hey man, give him the ball. And then two, there's the other.
Isaiah would have done the same thing. Isaiah would have done the same. This is what I love about what happened with Ishbia, is that what Ishbia did in the moment is what a player would do.
Right. And
his response afterward, I hope he doesn't get suspended, is also what a player would say. I think Matt Ishbia, I don't know that any other owner would have handled all of this the same way. Plenty of them wouldn't have given the ball back or held on to it or done something. But I think very few of them would have said, hey, I don't imagine Robert Sarver. Robert Sarver, the former owner of the Suns, would be screaming up and down that Jokic should be suspended for the rest of the series or whatever. I fully believe that. So I don't the idea that Isaiah Thomas would have been less combative. I get the sense that's what you're saying, and I'm not sure you're right.
No, I don't think Isaiah Thomas was less combative. I just think it was just weird to have him sit there and go dude, you better give him the ball. And then when he did the flop, he really kind of stayed out of it. It was very odd.
That was weird. Now, what? So maybe I missed something. Are you saying that Isaiah told him to give the ball back?
No. I didn't say it. Just again, it was like he was. It was like he was watching a movie in front of him. But this is Isaiah Thomas, and he just literally did nothing. I didn't move. It was just the whole thing was just weird.
There's a reason Isaiah Thomas has survived as long as he has.
Oh, no question. No, one of the world's great politicians.
Yeah.
One of the world's great politicians.
You know when to step in, and you know when to step back.
Well, that part has been learned because usually he just stepped in it. The Suns playing better, winning both, but granted at home, but also without Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Does he play again this series?
I don't know what his injury situation is.
Right.
I do believe that the injury itself could keep him out for the rest of the series. But I would also say that they can be very judicious or very cautious about bringing him back, because in a lot of ways, they're looking like a better team. They're a better team defensively, and Devin Booker's maturity has been impressive. My whole feeling about the Phoenix Suns is different, largely because Devin Booker is playing with fire, but he's not immolating himself. His decision-making, his ability to find ways to score in transition and still stay aggressive in those situations, and at the same time being trapped as hard as he is and giving the ball up the way he has and still being active and not trying to, force anything or prove anything. I can't say enough about what I've seen from Devin. We always knew he could score. It was how was he going to manage himself in the game? And I have seen major growth in that department. And it's the part where I thought that they would miss Chris Paul, and they haven't. And so I think they can slow their roll and say, Chris, let's make sure you're 100% before we bring you back, because we're doing just fine without you.
Okay. How about we go to the Lakers-Warriors series? Who's been worse, Jordan Poole or Draymond Green?
At least Draymond has had his moments.
Yes.
And certainly I thought he had a big, I thought he was very, very good in Game 3. Jordan Poole has been...
Game 2. He was really good in Game 2.
Yeah.
Draymond was really good in Game 2, not Game 3.
Okay, Game 2. Excuse me, you're correct. Game 2. Draymond was really good in Game 2. I don't know that Jordan has been great in any of these games. He's been serviceable in one, if I'm not mistaken, and that might have been Game 2 as well.
Game 1, he shot the ball well. Obviously, he took the deep three that people don't love or whatever. But I mean, the shooting isn't just. He's never been a good defender, and the turnovers are a problem. And then he's shooting the ball terribly. It's like, God, what the heck happened to Jordan Poole?
He looks so uncertain about what to do, and he's the primary ball handler.
Well, that's the story. That's the story. Is that he's dealing in a crisis in confidence, in my opinion.
Yeah, crisis in confidence. Exactly. His decision making is he's so uncertain about what he should do, and that wrecks the rest of the offense. Because if your primary is uncertain, well, then how am I as a role player going to know what it is that I'm supposed to do when the guy who's got the ball isn't sure what he's going to do? And so I just, to answer your question, I mean, without question, Jordan Poole has been a far bigger negative, and it's like they can't afford. Okay, so he's been bad. They've been able to play past that with against the Kings, and for the most part against the Lakers, but they can't have Jordan and Klay Thompson bad, and that's what happened in Game 3. And so my greater question is, I guess Jordan is going to be what Jordan is at this point. I don't know that I'm expecting him to suddenly find his way. My feeling is that as the series and as the playoffs go on, Steve Kerr is going to have to lean on other guys. The other problem is that Dante DiVincenzo can't hit a shot right now. He's having a crisis in confidence too, as far as shooting. He really doesn't want to shoot, and that leaves them very thin with Klay off, Jordan off, Dante off. Your wings and their ability to score and guys that Steve can trust. I think that's at the heart of their issues right now.
Oh yeah. What do you think happens tonight?
I would expect look. I would expect the Warriors would not turn the ball over and would not foul as much, and that they win. I've said this, and I said this through the Grizzlies series, and I believe this in this series as well. The Lakers are not dictating who wins. The Lakers are exploiting their opponent playing stupidly or shooting themselves in the foot. They're exploiting the mistakes that they make. I think that the Lakers are who they are. And I don't mean that as a knock. I mean, there's plenty of teams that They don't lose, but they don't necessarily beat you. They just let you beat yourself. And that's what I've seen. The Warriors, if they play to their ability and simply take care of the ball and don't allow the Lakers not just the scoring, but the rest time that they get when they're shooting a lot of free throws, then I don't know how the Lakers can sustain things, because I don't know how LeBron can sustain it. I don't know how AD can sustain it. But if anybody's wondering why Game 3 went the way it did, it's because it was a perfect storm of all the things that the Warriors simply cannot do if they have any intention of winning. They can't turn the ball over. They can't foul. Like against the Lakers, just you're better off conceding a layup and inbounding it and running it back the other way and keeping the game moving than they are in fouling and putting them on the free throw line. And I think they know that, and I think Draymond Green addressed it. So I would expect that they're going to make those adjustments, and we go back to the Bay Area 2-2.
Bucher, lastly, how important is the hire for the Milwaukee Bucks in keeping Giannis in Milwaukee long term?
I think it's huge. Well, I take that back. We've had the long-term rumors about Giannis going someplace else, and as long as he doesn't get in a room with Pat Riley, because Pat can convince anybody to do anything and go anywhere. But I don't know that they're going to have the cap space available to be able to make something like that happen. I think one of the things that people don't take into account with international players in general, and Giannis in particular, is the gratitude he has for the Milwaukee Bucks drafting him, making him a star, building the team around him, giving him the life that he has. American players who are of his quality assume all of that is theirs for the taking. Giannis does not. And so the idea that he would abandon the Milwaukee Bucks, I don't see it. And I also don't see him like, if I don't get this coach, I'm leaving, because that's not the mindset of players that come up in international basketball.
Sure, it's a very, very American thing. Bucher, you're the best, man. Look forward to seeing you on TV later today, Fox Sports 1 and foxsports.com, Ric Bucher. Bucher, thanks for joining us.